The doctrine of harmonious construction stands for that a statute should be read as a whole and a provision of the statute should be interpreted keeping in view the entirety of the statute. It should not be isolated and then interpreted. This ensures that the statute so enacted is consistent and also that any kind of repugnancy within the different provisions is avoided so far as it is acceptable. Origin of the doctrine of harmonious construction. The doctrine of harmonious construction evolved through interpretations of the courts. The judiciary from time to time decided typical matters that involved a pitting between two distinct provisions. In India, this doctrine originally came disguised as a rule of conciliation in the case of CP and Virar Act. The doctrine of harmonious construction rests in two maxims. Generalia specialibus non derogant, which means that a general things do not go against special things, and generalia specialibus derogant, which means that special things go against general things. Principles Doctrine of Harmonious Construction. In Commissioner of Income Tax versus Hindustan Bulk Carrier, the Supreme Court laid down certain principles that govern the doctrine of harmonious construction. While interpretation of the provisions, the court need to avoid all circumstances of head-on clash between the provisions. They must be construed harmoniously. Interpretation by the courts should be done in such a way that one provision does not defeat the other provision unless there seems no possible construction. If the situation is so that it becomes impossible to reconcile the provisions in conflict, the court must decide in such a way that both the provisions are given effect. Any construction that renders one provision of the statute useless, lumber, or dead letter should not be given effect. Such construction is not a harmonious construction. A harmonious construction is one which does not defeat any other provisions. Judicial approach. It depends on the judiciary to interpret the statute according to the doctrine of harmonious construction. The intention should always be to render the provision operative. Any inconsistency should neither be created nor inferred. Where a provision signals confusion, the whole statute should be considered. Application of Doctrine of Harmonious Construction. In M.S.M. Sharma versus Krishna Sinha, the issue was that whether the privileges under Article 194(3) of the Indian Constitution should be allowed to prevail over the fundamental right of speech under Article 19(1)(a). The Supreme Court held that although the fundamental right to privacy enshrined under Article 21 of the Constitution supersedes Article 194(3), a person may be expelled from publication of proceedings of an assembly and it would not amount to a complete violation of the fundamental right. In Silk Limited versus Government of Andhra Pradesh, disputes between the workman and the employer were referred to an industrial tribunal after the adjudication of which the award was sent for publication. In Raj Krishna versus Binod Kunangu, provisions of the Representation of the Peoples Act 1951 were in dispute. Section 33(2) provides that a government servant could nominate or second any person in an election, whereas 123(8) provides that a government servant cannot assist any election candidate except when he casts his vote. Conclusion. The duty to interpret statutes should be exercised with care and caution.